I knew, we were facing an attack of such viciousness and nastiness that I couldn't believe that they were talking about teachers and paraprofessionals and clinicians. But the beauty of it is that parents love their children's teachers. No matter what they even say about quote-unquote public education, they know that connection. They believe in it, they're clear about it, and it kind of blocks out all the noise. But the real problem is that the districts had no idea that we were making those kinds of relationships and those kinds of bonds. Your strongest allies are your parents. But you cannot call on parents at the last minute and say, come help me. You have to lay the groundwork. You have to actually listen. It's easy to talk about bread and butter, because that's what unions have done for years and years and years. And other people don't care about your bread and butter, they care about their bread and butter. Yep. But when we start talking about a better way for children to learn, a better way for children to be inspired, then you become dangerous. Because they're, the ones that are doing this talking, do not care about children, they care about a bottom line. Now I'm preaching to the choir, which is a good thing. But we know how to change the landscape and change the narrative. And you change it by actually continually talking about what teaching and learning means and what the atmosphere for our children, what they're entitled to, what they should have. And the notion that you stand up against injustice carries a lot of weight, no matter where you are. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to tell you that the tide is turning. Can we just look at New York for a minute? Hello, Lord. Hey. All right, so can I just ask a question? You predict that the scores are going to go down 30%, and the scores go down 30%. How many people are taking your exam seriously now? Because clearly, all exams are now politically motivated. Whatever the cut score is, they have now shown their hand. That's what I love about them. They cannot help themselves. They cannot help themselves. The arrogance, the hubris, really? So now we know that all test scores, standardized test scores, are politically motivated. Because they wanted to show you how bad your schools are. How stupid do they think parents really are? That's my question. How stupid do they think parents really are? Parents are not stupid. So, thank you, New York, for being the guinea pigs. You know, I appreciate that. So when it comes here and they try to run that same garbage out. So, what's interesting to me is that politically they have talked about starving the beast by making sure that state governments, local governments are deprived of funds so that they can come in and use these crazy excuses to get rid of tenured teachers. North Carolina, what was that about? Just, again, bizarro world, sheer utter craziness. But I think we should starve the beast. We should start their beast. Their beast is data. Big data, little data, ugly data. Start the beast. I am interested in having a real conversation with parents about opting their children out. And opting them out from being guinea pigs. Opting them out for being marketed to. Opting them out for their personal information to be given to people who only care about the profit that they can make from our children. And turn this conversation back around. The people who care about your children are working with your children. They are not in state capitals. They are not in Washington, D.C., except for, of course, where's D.C.? I saw Pittsburgh in the house. I see L.A. Who am I missing? Detroit? Who else am I missing? Cleveland? I bet you got a lot of stuff to tell us. Is Cleveland the other CTU?
We're right outside Cleveland.
Okay. Okay.
We're still AFT.
You're still AFT? Okay. Am I missing anybody else?
Milwaukee.
Oh, of course, Milwaukee, St. Paul. Who else am I missing?
Toronto.
No way. Before I dash out of here.
Las Vegas.
Vegas, Park County. I know you all are asking for Oakland in the house. All right. Who? Oh my gosh. An attack. They attacked you before they attacked us. We knew they were going to do it. Did they follow the Broad Handbook in Philly too? Oh yeah, that kind of drove people crazy when we, had the handbook. And you're not Helen Jim, are you?
No.
All right. I read her blog. It's like these sort of famous names, and I'm the one that's humbled by all this. It's like, wow. So Bob Peterson, Rethinking Schools in the house. Social justice. This guy can teach math through a social justice lens. So instead of saying, 5 kids buy 25 pencils, he'll turn around and say, 20 workers are being exploited. You can write a story problem to talk about social justice and to change the way we view the world. And that's dangerous to people. Andrew Breitbart, I know you're dead, but you're people. I know you're all looking at me now. What's that guy's name? Kyle Olson. He'll put something I say on the web. I'll be getting dirty phone calls again. But we need to think about how we all work together so that we are not constantly reinventing the wheel. And before I leave, because I'm going to keep it short so you guys can get to the real work, I would like to introduce you to Beth Davies, who is the president of the National Union of Teachers in the United Kingdom. I would like to let her speak a few words so that you all know we are not alone. Beth.